Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to check fresh release from Warhammer 40,000 or 40k series. As you can see, it's a part of Black Templars series and it's a Castellan soldier, would say. So it's one miniature in a typical or classic scale for these miniatures, and we continue our Warhammer reviews. So I guess this one will be just one more into the new, let's say, series, and this kit should be already available, so you can get it in any good shop. And now we are going to open it together and check what is actually supplied here. So box design and packaging is quite typical. As you can see, it's a shrink wrap, and also here on the rear side we can see a picture of the assembled and painted model. By the way, it's 1-to-1, so here you can see comparison with my hand. It's not that huge model, but still it's highly detailed, I would say, so that's why it's an interesting thing to build, especially if you are into figures. Then it might be a quite cool thing to assemble in I would say one of the weekend evenings. Maybe it will take more. I know that some of you will say, hey, they are quite serious miniatures, they are demanding, let's say, more time on painting and weathering, and I know that there are a lot of masters who are doing quite amazing jobs in such small size. So it will all depend on your, let's say, preferences on what you have to do. So I removed the shrink wrapping, and the package sealing is typical. So here you have to remove this cardboard flap and also open the box, and you'll be good to go. So just give me a second. I will try to open it. Okay. So what do we have here? I don't know why we have the plastic tray here, which is quite surprising, to be honest. And we also have assembly manual. So just to give you an idea, here is this plastic tray. It's quite handy because the plastic sprue was not flying, but still I can see that there is something. No, it's actually a figure stand, so that's why it's flying around. So yeah, as I said, quite a handy thing in order to protect parts from the possible damage. The figure stand is quite typical. As you can see, it's a circular disc with the, I would say, texture on it. Of course, you can add something else. It will depend on your choice, but even the fact that they actually add it out of the box is also nice, because it will give you something to place your figurine on, and of course it will be handy for displaying purposes as well. So next we continue with the sprue itself. Of course it comes from Games Workshop, so that's why we have the Games Workshop logo on the bottom. Maybe I'll open the lenses a bit so that you can see more. And all parts, they basically fit on one plastic sprue, and this is not a surprising thing because you saw the actual size of this figure. And parts division, I would say it's typical for such figure release, so be sure to keep track of possible seams and gaps. It will be, in my opinion, it's still important in a well, it's not 1/35 scale, it's slightly bigger, but still it is important and it's noticeable on such figures, so I would recommend to invest some time into tackling all these problems, let's say, possible issues. But you can see that surface details are quite amazing. Inside we have all the necessary guiding elements, so I don't think you will encounter any possible issues here. And now I think it's time to bring it even closer so that you can see, for example, this axe. And attachment points, by the way, they are also quite thin, so I don't think it will be difficult to separate it. Maybe I would recommend to use the plastic saw so that you don't damage the parts, because as you can see, these are quite, I would say, tender or crisp molded parts, so that's why it is important to carefully separate it without causing any damage to all these items. Obviously the figure itself is pre-shaped. As you can see, the hands are pre-molded together with various items in the hands. We also have machine gun here. I like how the cape looks. I mean, it deserves some shading so that it will look better. And here you can take a look at the other part. So all in all, it looks quite amazing, and I think there is plenty of space to play with some shading techniques, maybe with some weathering techniques, and maybe even to modify something, because I can guess that there are some minor, let's say, opportunities to introduce various wiring or something else, or maybe to replicate the metal parts as far as you can see on the box art. I'm checking out the box art, that's why I'm kind of hesitant, let's say. But as for the assembly manual, so let's move this sprue to the side and place the assembly manual here, close the lenses, zoom out. So it's a quite small color printed brochure. We have the same picture as what we had on the box art. We also have some safety advices, so they're written in several languages. Be sure to read them if you don't have experience with such figures, and especially with plastic kits at all. So next we start the assembly process. First step will involve the torso assembly together with the head, and as far as you can see, it should be connected together with help of quite large recesses. So if I show you this here, you understand what I'm talking about. There are no guiding pins, unfortunately, but still these borders, they should be more than enough in order to combine these two parts together. If you are hesitant, first do the dry fitment and then glue them together. But as you can see, this particular kit or this edition, it is not designed to be assembled without any glue, so be sure to glue parts properly, and maybe it will be good to employ some kind of glue which will melt the plastic, so this will also help you avoid any unnecessary gaps. So next we continue with the shoulder armor. As you remember, these parts were molded separately and they feature also quite an interesting, I would say, casting here, the skulls. And again, it's an opportunity to play with some weathering ideas and maybe painting ideas. Next, we continue with armament. So it's a machine gun and axe. Just to remind you, machine gun looks quite good and it has nice features from both sides. So if camera will focus, yeah, now you can see it from both sides. Here we even have something written on it. So really cool attention to tiny features, which should pay off once you assemble all this stuff together. And the last step, as you can see, it involves placement of the figure on this stand. But we do not have any designated points for the figure, so you're free to place it wherever you would like to. As I said, you can also modify it by applying some, let's say, grass stuff, or maybe some dirt, maybe something else, maybe snow. And here on the last page we also have some stats for the board game for the Warhammer 40k, and of course it's made in UK, if you didn't know this fact. So this kit should be already available. You can get it in any good games shop, let's say, or model shop maybe even. I know some model shops who are distributing these products, and of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.